with a piece of breaking news that came in just a few minutes ago. The cockpit voice recorder has been found. This is
the story that's our top focus today. The final rites of Vijay Rupani, late Chief Minister of Gujarat, the former Chief Minister of Gujarat, a man known for his quiet confidence, somebody who helmed the state at very turbulent times. Gujarat comes to a standstill today. The final rites of Vijay Rupani all set to begin shortly. Seen as one of its calmest, most unassuming leaders, former Chief Minister of Gujarat, Vijay Rupani, who perished in the tragic Air India AI-171 crash, will be cremated with full state honours today in Rajkot, which is seen as his Karya Kshetra or Karma Bhumi. And what we understand is that senior leaders of the BJP and also from the cabinet, including C.R. Patel, the Jal Shakti Minister, and also Amit Shah, the Home Minister, are likely to participate in his final rites. Vijay Rupani was often described as the man who filled the political vacuum when Narendra Modi moved to Delhi and Amit Shah took over as the national president of the BJP. A grassroots RSS worker who rose without controversy, someone who was seen as non-confrontational. He made it big in the politics of Gujarat, but he started his career as a corporator, a simple corporator from Rajkot, and he rose to becoming an MP and also finally the Chief Minister. His elevation to the Chief Minister's post in 2016 came as a surprise to many, but he was chosen over different contenders after Anandiben Patel's resignation only because he was seen as somebody who could balance different units, factional units within the BJP. He became CM of the state when it had just witnessed the Patidar protest, agitations over illicit liquor. In fact, in 2017 assembly elections in Gujarat, it was one of the toughest elections that BJP faced, and it was helmed by Vijay Rupani.
That's right. And before I go to the reporters who are joining us from Rajkot and also from Ahmedabad, remember his last rites will be performed in Rajkot. That is Harsh Sanghvi, who is the Home Minister of Gujarat. We also can see now Bhupendra Patel arriving in Ahmedabad. This is the crematorium from where his the last remains, the mortal remains of Vijay Rupani will be taken from here. It will be flown to Rajkot, which is roughly around 3.5 hour drive from Ahmedabad to Rajkot. Let's bring in Sanjay Singh, who is joining us here in the studio. Sanjay Singh, your best memory of Vijay Rupani?
It's very rare to meet such a humble person. Somebody who is Chief Minister.
And a humble politician.
Humble politician or nice human being, because often you see when people actually rise to positions, there are many instances when people become slightly arrogant. But he was one person, he is quite was an inspirational personality, as you said, rising from being a simple karyakarta to a municipal corporator, to a mayor, to an MP, to state president, to chief minister. At a time when Mr. Modi's legacy was to be carried, Anandiben Patel was shifted to a governor's position, and then he was made chief minister. When we became chief minister, he was so accessible that it was generally very difficult to believe that somebody who is chief minister, and you have been to Gujarat on several occasions, and the chief minister was so accessible, so talkative, so gentle.
Yes. Even when he would not give an interview, at least he'll say, "Come have tea with us."
Yeah.
Come have tea. Chai pila dunga. Interview ka promise nahi karta.
Interviews, of course, he gave interviews, many interviews. But as you know, you choose your timing for an interview.
Sir, he was completely unfazed by these comparisons with Narendra Modi, because he said that whenever I interviewed him, he said that I'm not getting into that game. This is Modi's Gujarat. It will remain Modi's Gujarat. So he clearly, said that line there, that he was not really, wanting to fill into somebody else's shoes.
That's right. That's also because Mr. Modi's persona, even today, is larger than life.
Yes.
Larger than life, and nobody actually can fit in.
Okay, one moment. Aishwarya is joining us from Ahmedabad. Aishwarya, over to you. What do you see?
Well, preparations are in full swing. Any moment from now, the family of Mr. Vijay Rupani can arrive over here at the civil hospital, the mortuary complex where his mortal remains had been kept. And let me show you these visuals of the ambulance which will take the mortal remains of Mr. Vijay Rupani to the Ahmedabad airport. And that has also now been kept on standby over here as we are waiting for the family of Mr. Rupani to arrive over here at Civil Hospital in Ahmedabad. Along with the family is Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel and Home Minister of Gujarat Harsh Sanghvi, and a guard of honor would be also given to Mr. Vijay Rupani here at the hospital. On the other side, there you can see the senior BJP leaders from the Gujarat government waiting for the family of Mr. Rupani to arrive. Health Minister Rishikesh Patel along with the cabinet ministers of the Gujarat government clearly waiting, and any moment from now the family of Mr. Vijay Rupani will arrive over here, and there would be a guard of honor and tribute that will be given by the Gujarat government to the former Chief Minister who died in the Air India plane crash in Ahmedabad, and he will be cremated in Rajkot later today with full state honours is what we have been told. There are also reports that Union Home Minister Amit Shah will attend the funeral procession. Preparations currently are underway for the last rites and for the guard of honor, in fact, at the Ahmedabad Civil Hospital for Gujarat's 16th Chief Minister who was in office from August 2016 to September 2021. There are these police officers who are deployed over here for the guard of honor that will be given. There would be last respect, and there you can also see the table where the mortal remains of Mr. Vijay Rupani will be kept as the ambulance is arriving over here, and that will be taking the mortal remains to the Ahmedabad airport very shortly. It has been also told to us that there are hundreds of people who are standing just outside the civil hospital as well to see the last glimpse and to pay respects to the ex-Chief Minister of Gujarat as the body would be taken. The state government member had announced a state mourning as mark of respect to Mr. Rupani with a national flag flying at half mast. It is also, the body, remember, that was identified of Mr. Rupani.
As we stay with these visuals, Sanjay Singh, your
And how do you
thoughts
see
on-
the outpouring of such grief, sir?
Yes.
Was it also because he came from Saurashtra, which is often seen as the fulcrum of Gujarat, although it doesn't really get that kind of attention when we talk about this?
That says the people are lined up there, and also when his body actually mortal remains reaches his hometown, you will see a large crowd of BJP workers, sympathizers, supporters, and family and friends, because he was a people's man. Ultimately, he was a people's man, somebody who worked at the grassroots. See, even in his death, just before death, he was Prabhari of Punjab and Chandigarh.
Yes.
Yeah,
There was a
that was the
by-election.
last organization responsible.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
sent as observer for Maharashtra elections.
There was a by-election happening in Ludhiana West or something,
yes.
and he postponed his program twice just because he wanted to be there, organizing those things. That tells a story about what kind of person he was. And when he was Chief Minister, the question that you asked me on last occasion, see, nobody in Gujarat believes that he or she can actually get into footsteps. Nobody in Gujarat, nobody in India, in BJP, no worker or no leader thinks like that. And in those circumstances, it was even more important for somebody who was Chief Minister to carry that legacy, to carry those words, the works that Mr. Modi left, and from there on begin to build blocks. That was a huge challenge for somebody like Mr. Rupani, who was not somebody who flaunted his persona and something.
Right.
And then the change happened. When the change happened from Vijay Rupani to Bhupender Patel, it was such a quiet affair.
Right.
That also conveys a lot about the kind of discipline that was inculcated in BJP's rank and file in Gujarat. People who work closely with Mr.
Right.
Rupani, even when you become Chief Minister, it often happens with many people that you get so many people who try and get close to you, get things done. He was completely kind of untouched with aura of power
Right.
or whatever the responsibilities that were given to him.
Maybe that is why he found it easier to also move on, right? And I remember in 2018 when I asked him this question, Gujarat had slipped a few ranks below Telangana and other states when it came to ease of doing business. And he took that question very positively, and he said that aur kaam karna padega. That's what, I mean, so he was somebody who was not averse to difficult questions as well. Abhishek Awasthi joins us from Rajkot, and he is at this trust that was built for Vijay Rupani's son, Pujit Rupani, his youngest son that he and his wife lost very, very early in life. And this is a personal tragedy that also built the personality of Vijay Rupani. He was also seen as somebody who loved his family a lot. He was in fact on his way to meet his daughter and his family members in London. Abhishek, ये बताइए कि tell us what do you see around you, and how are the people of Rajkot looking at this day, because this is also a very important emotional day for the people of Rajkot.
Definitely, Mr. Rupani would be the Chief Minister of Gujarat, but when it comes to his hometown Rajkot, he is known as Vijay Bhai. And let's try and speak to this members of this trust, who are running this trust along with, they used to run the trust along with Vijay Rupani, who was the chairman. Vijay Bhai नहीं है, विश्वास हो रहा है आपको?
नहीं, अभी विजय भाई का पार्थिव देह आ रहा है, वो हम मानने को लिए तैयार नहीं है, क्योंकि हम कल भी मीटिंग में बैठे थे, आज भी जब यहाँ आते हैं तो सोचते हैं कि विजय भाई आएंगे तो क्या बोलेंगे, विजय भाई आएंगे तो क्या बोलेंगे, ऐसा हमें लग रहा है। हमें विश्वास भी नहीं आता है कि विजय भाई अभी ये दुनिया में नहीं है, लेकिन वो विजय भाई नहीं है, लेकिन उसने जो संस्कार दिया, उसने जो हमें सिखाया, वो कायम उसके साथ रहेगा।
विश्वास नहीं हो रहा है, ऐसी कोई यादें आप अगर बता पाए यहाँ पर जिस तरीके से एक ट्रस्ट
दिलचस्पी थी, वर्षों से वो काम करते थे, उसको पहले वो सेवा की काम पहले रखता था उसके माइंड में, बाद में ये सब पॉलिटिक्स का बात रहती थी।
ये जो खास बात है कि पूरे गुजरात के लिए तो मुख्यमंत्री थे, लेकिन जब राजकोट की बात आती है, अपने कर्म भूमि की बात आती है, तो विजय भाई करके उन्हें कहा जाता है। क्या है विजय भाई की यादें आपके साथ, और ये ट्रस्ट को बनाने के पीछे का मकसद क्या था?
सही बताए, हमारे सभी के लिए वो विजय भाई पूछेगा तो वो कॉमन मैन की तरह ही पेश आ रहे थे। आपने बताया पुजित रूपाणी ट्रस्ट की स्थापना ही एक सेवा के उद्देश्य से हुई है रादर। और दूसरी बात यह है कि बच्चों को पढ़ाना, एजुकेशनली, हेल्थ, बहनों को एम्पावर करना, ये सब उनके मेन उद्देश्य थे, ताकि अच्छे नागरिक बनाना उनको। सभी बच्चों का जो भी हमारा प्रोजेक्ट है स्ट्रीट चिल्ड्रन ओपन हाउस, उसमें भी वही मकसद था कि बच्चे कुछ बने, अच्छे नागरिक बने। अगर वो बेस है तो वो एजुकेशन है, अगर सही एजुकेशन उन तक पहुँचा, आरोग्य पहुँचा, तो सही दिशा में हो जाएंगे, और सही दिशा में अच्छे नागरिक की मीन्स वो उनको बनाने में उसका हाथ रहेगा।
देखिए, एक सपना था उनका, ये चला रहे थे ट्रस्ट, अब जिम्मेदारी आप लोगों पर है किस तरीके से आगे इसे लेके जाएंगे, और उनका सपना साकार करना है, जो सोशल सर्विस है उसे बढ़ावा देना है और लगातार करता रहना है।
देखो, विजय भाई का मार्गदर्शन ऊपर से भी हमें मिलता रहेगा। उसने हमें जो संस्कार दिए, उसने हमें जो सिखाया है, वो हम आगे बढ़ाएंगे। मैं मानता हूँ विजय भाई जैसा शायद हम नहीं कर सकेंगे, क्योंकि वो तो बहुत सेवा के उद्देश्य से काम कर रहे थे। छोटे छोटे बच्चे की बहुत चिंता कर रहे थे। वो स्ट्रीट चिल्ड्रन, जो बच्चे स्ट्रीट में घूमते हैं, जिसका माँ बाप जो है वो बच्चे को सीए बनाया, ये काम विजय भाई ने किया है। और वो बच्चे की पूरी की पूरी जिम्मेदारी विजय भाई लेते थे। उसका आरोग्य की चिंता करते थे। उसके साइकिल में पंचर पड़ता था ना, तो भी विजय भाई चिंता करते थे और ट्रस्ट में से पैसा देते थे। ये विजय भाई काम कर रहे थे। हम उनके जैसा काम कर सके या न कर सके, लेकिन हमारे साथ बहुत बड़ी टीम है। अनली भाभी भी है, उसके परिवार के लोग भी है। तो हमें विश्वास है कि विजय भाई ने जो ये यज्ञ किया है, वो यज्ञ हम आगे ले जाएंगे।
विजय भाई हमारे साथ नहीं हैं, लेकिन उनके यादें अभी हमारे साथ है और आगे रहेंगी। कुछ ऐसे पल, कुछ ऐसी यादें आप हमें बता पाए?
साहब के साथ 87 से मैं जुड़ा हुआ हूँ। बहुत सी यादें हैं।
समझ सकते हैं आप आपकी आंखें नम है, वो बयां कर रही है कि कितना दर्द है और कितना दुख है, आप ही को नहीं पूरे राजकोट को. You can understand, you can see that, tears in his eyes, and it is clearly, this is not only him, this is the people of Rajkot who are currently witnessing the same emotion, the same situation, since they heard that, he's not there after that tragic incident that has took place, and similar sentiments and emotion is across Rajkot, and definitely they will be bidding farewell to their loved leader today, and definitely administration has planned the entire thing, and his mortal remains will be flying soon to Rajkot. Then at his residence it would be kept to bid final farewell, and then to the cremation center. A proper route has been planned so that every individual from Rajkot could come and pay his last respect to the tall leader that is no more today. Back to you.
Crash, in fact, brought to a cruel end, one would say, an almost 3-decade-long political career. A political career where Vijay Rupani, from a corporator, went on to become the Chief Minister of Gujarat. He held the post also of the BJP State Unit Chief after becoming the State General Secretary for 4 terms. So Vijay Rupani, not just being seen as an organization man, he understood each and every the Karyakarta very, very closely, and that's the personal bond that he built. On your screens is also his wife, his daughter, and also the son-in-law. Let's go full frame with those visuals as the visuals continue to come in also from the hospital, the civil hospital, where the mortal remains of Vijay Rupani will be handed over to his family. Senior BJP leaders are also present when this entire, the journey, the last journey, the final journey of Vijay Rupani, which will begin any moment now. Manogya Loiwal is someone who has tracked Gujarat politics very closely, is joining us. We can see his wife, the daughter he was supposed to meet in London, and also the son-in-law accompanying another relatives of Vijay Rupani's family, as the mortal remains will be handed over to the family members. It's a very, very traumatic visual, a heartbreaking visual, as we see the last journey of one of the tall leaders of Gujarat that will begin any moment now, Manogya.
Well, absolutely, Maria. These are testing times for the family members especially, but entire Rajkot is mourning his death. And I'm standing here just in front of his residence. This is his residence. That is the official entry of the former Chief Minister, late former Chief Minister Vijay Rupani. It has been named in the name of his son, and here you see the entire police setup that will be paying the last homage here. The rehearsals will be going on once his last rites, his last journey begins from his home to the cremation ground. That would be played out, and that is where it is being practiced. Now, important thing is that it's not just about the former Chief Minister who's being bid adieu, but also the entire Rajkot city, town, and even people from surrounding areas. Remember, there are politicians who are pouring in from across the state of Gujarat. There are MLAs, there are former ministers, there are former cabinet ministers who worked with him in his cabinet and fondly remember Vijay Bhai. Vijay Bhai is the only word that you would hear from everyone. If you ask them how was the Chief Minister's regime, what did he do, they are proud to say that he not only got aims here, but he also ensured that the water supply and the water problem of Rajkot was sorted. Imagine from 1971 when he joined Jansangh, ABVP, RSS, he's been actively working for the entire setup. But the fact that he always behaved and came across to his people like just another party member, not as the Chief Minister. Even during his Chief Minister tenure from 2016 to 2021, he was popularly known as not the CM but the common man. And that is what made him so unique and so affable to almost everyone around. It's not just about this family. If I can show you the house and show you the preparations in the house, these are a little melancholic times. We have to ensure the privacy of the family, but there are leaders from across the state, senior leaders who are here to monitor it completely. There's a separate ground that has been used to ensure that people will be arriving in huge, massive numbers. It's not just about the 5 kilometer of last journey that will be taking place from his residence to the cremation ground, but also the entire Rajkot town, city has come to a standstill. It's a different atmosphere. Remember, I visited Rajkot earlier also, but I've never seen this mood across the town, across the streets. Life has come to an initial halt for a lot of people who've lived around him, who've been attached with him. From being a normal party worker where he started in 71, a 54-year-old journey from becoming a member of parliament or even being a chief minister of the state. Remember, it's a big thing for any person who joins politics without any background. That means he just started as a कार्यकर्ता. That's what BJP people say कि वो तो हमारे भाई हैं. और वो भाई बोलने का जो तरीका है ना, that cannot be explained, because every person I've spoken to has tears in his eyes, is emotionally very, very high on emotions, is absolutely knowing what they have lost. And when they will come here to see his last journey and see him off in the last journey, well, if I could say that even the skies are shedding their own tears in their own way in the form of rain. These are tough times, and people of that stature, when they are no more, the nature predicts their own affection towards them. This is just another way of the last journey that he would be taking from his residence to the cremation ground. Imagine, it's just not just about the police preparation here where he will be given the last salute, but also the fact that almost everyone who's come here is just waiting for moments. As I speak to you, this is the minute where we will be beginning the last salute to their beloved late former chief minister. Now there is pouring in of emotions, there is pouring in of number of people who've arrived here, one after the other, increasing in numbers. And as you see behind me, these are the preparations for the last rites. This is the official salute that you give to your former chief minister. But besides that, it's melancholic, if I could say. And it's absolutely different. I would show you around on what is exactly happening.
Vijay Rupani, a house that he really treasured because this is where his children grew up in. And of course, Rajkot has been an emotional, soft spot for him. He was the mayor, he was a corporator of Rajkot before he went on to become the MP and also finally the chief minister. Aishwarya joins us from the civil hospital in Ahmedabad. This is where a lot of action is taking place. Vijay Rupani's family is there. Anjali Rupani, the wife, and of course the daughter and son-in-law, they've come to collect the mortal remains of Vijay Rupani, and this will all be taken to Rajkot, and people will be allowed to pay their final tributes to their beloved former chief minister. And after that, the final rites of Vijay Rupani is all set to begin. Aishwarya, tell us, what do you see around you, and what kind of preparations has the administration done about this?
Well, last-minute preparations are underway as the family of Mr. Vijay Rupani has arrived at the civil hospital here in Ahmedabad, and the formalities that are being done inside is only the wait for the handing over of the mortal remains of former Chief Minister of Gujarat. The ambulance had been kept on standby over here. In that particular ambulance, the mortal remains of Vijay Rupani will be taken from the civil hospital over here in Ahmedabad.
Today is paying tribute to its beloved son of the soil, Vijay Rupani, the former chief minister and a former Gujarat BJP chief. Today his mortal remains are being handed over to his wife, daughter and son Rishabh Rupani. Of course, Rishabh Rupani is someone who has spoken about his father extensively over the last few hours, and he has also said that he feels that there is a lot of gratitude with which he feels, particularly towards the Chief Minister and the Prime Minister. Let's cut across to Aishwarya Jain, who's joining us from the civil hospital, where close to that mortuary where his mortal remains will be handed over. I can see Ankit joining us from Rajkot, home of Vijay Rupani. Ankit, I'm coming to you, but before that, Aishwarya, what are you seeing?
Well, any moment from now, the mortal remains of former Chief Minister Vijay Rupani would be handed over to the family members, as they have already arrived over here along with the Chief Minister of Gujarat, Bhupendra Patel, and other cabinet ministers of Gujarat government. Let me quickly show you these visuals from the mortuary complex over here, as the senior BJP leaders along with the family members, long distance relatives of Mr. Rupani, who had all arrived over here at the mortuary complex, are patiently waiting as the detailed legal paperwork is being done inside the mortuary complex with the assistance of all those doctors and the team of officials who had been placed on that duty. As well as far as the government officials are concerned, the health department officials will be handing over the death certificate, the post-mortem report of Vijay Rupani, and also the FSL report to the family members. There has been also a special desk that has been set up for all the claims that the family members wanted to make as far as their belongings are concerned, and if they will get the belongings of Mr. Rupani or any of those victims, and those will be also handed over first to the family members, and later the mortal remains would be given. It is all of those senior BJP leaders as they are waiting. There will be also a guard of honor that will be given by the guards of Gujarat police, and there would be these condolences that will take place over here. As you can see in the visual, there are hundreds of people who are waiting inside the hospital. There are another 100 who are waiting outside the civil hospital as well, as they want to pay the tribute, the last respects and their condolences to the family members of Mr. Rupani, who had served for almost 5 years as the Chief Minister of Gujarat. But where I'm reporting is a place which is in close connection of Mr. Rupani as well. That civil hospital that you see right behind me over here, that's India's biggest COVID hospital that was inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi along with Vijay Rupani in 2019 itself. And just 100 meters away, that's the mortuary complex where today Vijay Rupani's dead body is. And unfortunately, he died in that airplane crash. And now people are offering their condolences, because it's tragic loss for just not the state of Gujarat, for the entire country as well, as Vijay Rupani's mortal remains now being taken over from the mortuary complex, and ambulances had been kept on standby.
One of the heart-wrenching scenes that I saw 2 days ago was also Anjali Rupani, the wife of Vijay Rupani, saying that I want to see my husband just one final time. I want to see his face. But of course, the bodies are so badly charred, and that really could not be possible. Tell us this aspect of Vijay Rupani, the fact that he was also a family man, somebody who always gave time to his family, and the couple, both Anjali and Vijay Rupani, were BJP karyakartas, somebody who were involved in Saurashtra BJP's operations throughout a large part of their lives. He joined the BJP when he was just 24 years old. His father-in-law was also a core member of the RSS. Tell us this aspect to him, apart from being a CM and a state president of the BJP, the fact that he was also a family man. How does that reflect on his personality?
Well, he was very close to his family, and we have seen often those pictures of him with his granddaughter, and that was one of the reasons perhaps he was going to London for celebration of his daughter's granddaughter's birthday, and perhaps he would have returned after a few days. But unfortunately, that air crash happened, and he was sitting in the front seats of that. Apart from giving absolute time to his family, being in Rajkot for months, whenever, during the days of him being a member of parliament, him being in Delhi, he always used to come over here and spend a lot of time. But he has that connection with Rajkot, and therefore the reason perhaps it has been anticipated that thousands of people will turn to give the last condolences to him as well, being councillor to the mayor and then rising to the ranks of the chief minister. 1206 is one of the number that he was very fond of personally, professionally. His days from his scooter days and from the car that he drives all has that 1206 number, and it was 12 June 1206 that day when he died as well, taking that number along with him. Let me quickly show you these visuals, as well as there is some movement which is happening at the mortuary complex, as now any time from now.
We'll try and connect with Aishwarya any moment now, but let me bring in Ankit. Ankit, what are you seeing at his home in Rajkot?
Well, the Rajkot, the hometown, the Karam Bhumi of Mr. Rupani at this moment is in mourning. All across the city there are posters of Mr. Rupani, people paying their tributes to him. At this very place where I'm standing, this is right next to his residence. It's in the complex of a temple where for the people, this is where Mr. Rupani's mortal remains would be brought in, and they would be able to pay their respects to him. We have been told between 4 to 5 is the time which has been kept for this, where the Home Minister is also expected. What you are seeing at this moment is the preparations being done by the state police, or the rehearsal being done by the state police as far as the mortal remains are concerned, because remember, he will be cremated with full state honors. And what you are seeing on your screens is the rehearsal which is going on. These 6 policemen will be the bearers as far as the mortal remains, the coffin is concerned. And then they are in fact practicing. Not only just a short while back, the police band also came in, but the entire journey, last rites of Mr. Rupani, as they would be conducted with full state honors in Gujarat. One day mourning has also been in fact been declared for Mr. Rupani, the former chief minister. Very interestingly, as Aishwarya was also saying, people still, I was speaking to a few of his neighbors, and they were remembering him saying that from his days of a councillor to even the chief minister and the MP, things didn't change much for him as far as this colony, the Prakash colony, where his residence is. And he was quite accessible to people even when he was the chief minister, though their security increased his, but there are a few of his old friends that have come. There used to be a group of friends, 12 of them. Mr. Rupani knew them from college days, and somehow their children had given that group a name of Dirty Dozen. That is how they were known here in Rajkot. So a lot of anecdotes, a lot of memories attached to Mr. Rupani, 68-year-old BJP leader who passed away in this air crash, and possibly one of the most noted ones on that flight AI 171. The family of also, like Vasudha was pointing out earlier, met the Prime Minister today. It is expected the Chief Minister of State Bhupendra Patel would also be accompanying the family when they come here. It was from Mr. Rupani that
laying the wreath now on the mortal remains of Vijay Rupani. Other leaders, including Harsh Sanghvi, who is the state's
Patel,
home
the
minister, is
also
present. Other senior leaders of the BJP, of the Gujarat unit, are all present as the last journey, the final journey.
Rishikesh Patel also offering his tributes, and like Maria said, the MOS home was also there, Harsh Sanghvi, and this is Harsh Sanghvi, the MOS home, and before that, of course, Bhupendra Patel. And these are all ministers of the cabinet who are offering their tributes, and you also see several of them.
That's former Deputy Chief Minister Nitin Patel offering his tributes. The mortal remains has been handed over to the wife, the daughter and son of Vijay Rupani. That's the family members. His wife, who's been a BJP worker as well, managing the state unit for several years now. She, standing next to what's perhaps the toughest moment that she's facing of her life, next to her husband's mortal remains. Aishwarya is joining us. Aishwarya, over to you.
Well, the family members paying last respects to Mr. Rupani, and there you can see the coffin roll with the Indian flag over there. There are senior cabinet ministers from the Gujarat government that I can see just right behind me. It is the mortal remains which has just come out, guard of honor that will be given to former Chief Minister of Gujarat who has served the state from August 2016 to September 2021. He was the 16th Chief Minister and died in the tragic air crash on 12th of June. It is now the body which is being taken, the mortal remains of Mr. Vijay Rupani now taken towards the ambulance, and from here directly the mortal remains would be taken to the Ahmedabad airport. There you can see one by one all the senior leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party from the Gujarat unit, the cabinet ministers, chief minister standing over there, home minister, health minister of the state of Gujarat, all paying last respects before the mortal remains goes from Ahmedabad Civil Hospital, from the mortuary complex over here towards the Ahmedabad airport, where from air ambulance there's mortal remains will be taken to Rajkot, where the last rites will begin. We're expecting the senior leadership from the Bharatiya Janata Party that can also arrive in Rajkot to pay the last respects. But these are first and exclusive visuals. Now the guards taking up the mortal remains. The family clearly devastated about the loss that they have witnessed. It is, of course, a vacuum in the Bharatiya Janata Party unit in Gujarat. A state mourning had been announced for a day here in Gujarat as well. As we can see now, the guards standing in front of those mortal remains will be shifting it to the ambulance, and they will be taking directly to the Ahmedabad airport. Accompanying the mortal remains would be the family members, closest one, the wife, daughter, and the son who had arrived from London, and they will be heading via air ambulance to the city of Rajkot, where he was once the mayor and also had served the people over there, loved.
Well, those visuals there of mortal remains of Vijay Rupani being handed over to his family and the whole of Gujarat cabinet being present in full attendance. Bhupendra Patel was amongst the first to pay his tributes, followed by Rishikesh Patel, the health minister, senior ministers of the cabinet, including MOS Harsh Sanghvi. His entire family is present. Anjali Rupani, his wife, his son, Rishabh Rupani, and of course all of that, the mortal remains will be sent to Rajkot now, which is seen as his emotional spot, a place that he represented as an MLA, as an MP, and also went on to become the CM from. And that is also where his mortal remains will be kept for people, for common people to come and pay respects to Vijay Rupani, the late Chief Minister of Gujarat, who lost his life in the horrible plane crash that took place recently.
Yes, Vijay Rupani from the neutral Jain Bania community was announced as Anandiben Patel's successor in 2016. He went on to become the Chief Minister then, and in 2017 was when he steered the BJP victory, where though the BJP won its lowest BJP tally in the state ever at 99 in a 182-member Gujarat Assembly, Vijay Rupani was again picked up as the Chief Minister, and he did face a lot of political challenges, but that's what politics and politicians who have spent over 3 decades in politics have to face. Vijay Rupani was seen as a man of organization. He went on to also become the member of parliament from Rajkot constituency. As the chief minister, he handled the COVID-19 pandemic, and also and that was the time when Gujarat administration faced a lot of questions, but today he will be remembered as a leader who had grassroots connections, who rose in the ranks, and that is what quintessential BJP stands for. When a Karyakarta can go on to become to helm the state, not just as the state unit chief, but also as the state chief minister. Vijay Rupani, survived by his wife, his daughter, and also his son. You can see those visuals, and of course now his body will be flown to Rajkot, where the last journey, the final journey of Vijay Rupani, 68-year-old, will begin. It's a very, very emotional moment for the family members and also for the people of Rajkot. They have seen the rise of Vijay Rupani. Let me bring in Ankit again, who continues to be with us from Rajkot, outside the residence of Vijay Rupani. Ankit, if you can hear me, you have been speaking to his family, you have been speaking to his friends. All of them have stories to share about the personal side of Vijay Rupani. What made Vijay Rupani that very, very liked and also very, very affable leader?
You know, I think it was his ability not only to connect with his constituency, but, seem approachable. It was, he was somebody who was even behind, when he was the chair, on the chair of the chief minister, behind all those security paraphernalia, was seen as somebody who was accessible. And that made Vijay Rupani, for a lot of people here, especially in Rajkot, as somebody that they knew. They might have just heard about him from, people from his early days, but there is a sense that you talk to even the younger generation here, they would tell you that there was a sense that you knew him personally. And that's why for Rajkot, it seems a very, very personal, devastating loss, where all across, you've seen these posters of Mr. Rupani and people paying tribute to him. It's raining today in Rajkot. The forecast through the day is of, a rainfall throughout the day. That has not stopped people to either come here or eventually that, we are expecting a lot of people to turn up when he's taken not only from the airport to this place, but from here to the crematorium, which is about 5 kilometers from where I'm standing in the Prakash colony. Like you and Vasudha Maria were talking about Mr. Rupani and his political journey. I remember covering the 2017, elections of Gujarat. And as you pointed out, it was possibly one of the closest that the BJP came to losing and the Congress came to winning in the last 3 decades or so. And, just before the results were announced, at that point of time, there was this whole thing created that Mr. Rupani, who had taken over just about a year back, that he is going to be the scapegoat. The entire blame will fall on his shoulders. And but destiny, how it turns, the BJP still managed to win. And Mr. Rupani came back as the chief minister. That was, of course, one of the biggest highlights of his political career, of being a sitting chief minister, winning, Gujarat and coming back on the seat of power, not, withholding the challenges that he had to face from outside and within the political combinations as well. And that tells you how politically, deft he was in maneuvering those challenges for so many years. And of course, a hardcore Karyakarta. He took over from Anandiben Patel, and as soon as he was told that it's time to, pass on the baton to Bhupendra Patel, Mr. Rupani, did that without the usual drama that you would associate with any other political party, where seat of power becomes the most important thing. And that is exactly how he is being defined today. He's been remembered today as an organization man, a thorough RSS man, as somebody who believed in taking people along rather than confrontation.
Right. Also, Ankit, there was certain aspect to Vijay Rupani as a chief minister. Every time I would speak to him, there was, he was particularly interested in the irrigation projects, Sujalam Suflam Yojana. He was also particularly interested in domicile reservations, and it was very human-centric. He would always talk about how it is important to be accessible to people. He didn't talk about big industrial projects, but very small things. What aspects of his personality do you think rubbed on to his political career as well? Because Vijay Rupani, the head of BJP in Gujarat, is not very different from Vijay Rupani, who was the chief minister. Affable, accessible, and a Karyakarta at heart.
I think the whole the aspect that you were speaking about, being people-centric and being accessible to people, like I've been saying, even when he was the chief minister, with all the security paraphernalia, people felt that he's still just a call away, that you could walk to his house and if Mr. Rupani is in Rajkot, he will give you a patient hearing. And being an organization man, he was also somebody when they were, warring factions, BJP thinking of how they want to move forward, because, it was difficult difficult for anybody to fill the giant shoes that that Mr. Narendra Modi left being the head of the state here in Gujarat. Mr. Rupani came in as somebody who was able to take people along, not as a compromise candidate, but as somebody who could, who had connections across, every big leader, across every big faction in the BJP, and was able to take them along, and that helped during his chief minister, ship as well. The time that he was able to get a chief minister, deputy chief minister like Mr. Patel, and he was also seen as somebody. And remember, this was also the period when the BJP was coming after the upheaval of very closely losing or coming close to losing that election, the whole Patidar agitation. So he was seen as a calming factor in the state from 2017 going onwards, and that's the role that he played. And I think his personality of not being too hindered, about things, about trying to weather all the storms, whether politically or personal, in that much calm fashion, that helped him not only as the chief minister, but also earlier as the party president, and then of course becoming the MP of Rajkot as well.
And joining us now is Jainarayan Vyas, former Health Minister of Gujarat. We also have Dr. Shirish Kashikar, who is the Director of Mass Communication and Journalism Institute of Ahmedabad, and Ajay Ummat is Group Editor of Ahmedabad Mirror and of Gujarat Samay. I'm going to begin with you, Mr. Ummat. We are looking at those very, very poignant images come in of the entire Gujarat unit, the entire Gujarat administration, right from the Chief Minister and also the family members of late Vijay Rupani in attendance. When we look at these images, I would want you to remember Vijay Rupani and your memories of Vijay Rupani.
Maria, look, Vijay Rupani, when he started his career as Chief Minister of Gujarat, it was a very, very turbulent period for Bharatiya Janata Party. You must have seen that, the 2017 elections, Bharatiya Janata Party has reached to its lowest ebb, 99 versus 77 of Congress Party. The reason was, it was a time of Patel reservation, agitation, and Jignesh Mewani and Alpesh Thakur and Hardik Patel, they had taken against, Bharatiya Janata Party. So Vijay Rupani was brought in at that point of time. And though caste combination or caste equation was not in his favor, but Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Ahmedabad, they thought that, he is the right person to handle the situation. And I distinctly remember in his first speech, he said that I have not come here to play a 5-day cricket match or 1-day cricket match. It will be a 2020 match. And he really delivered. He, under his stewardship, party sailed through that 2017 assembly election successfully. And from that point of time, he became a person who has made institutions in Gujarat. For example, if you consider his Rajkot constituency, it was he who has played pivotal role in bringing, All India Institute of Medical Science, AIIMS in Rajkot, International Airport in Rajkot, and the biggest contribution of Mr. Vijay Rupani was that, under his leadership, Mr. Jainarayan Vyas, who is with us, he can also elaborate that point, that Narmada irrigation project was completed, but, Sauni irrigation project and, a lot of other pipeline projects were completed during his period, and that was the reason that, the water crisis in Rajkot and in Saurashtra region was sorted out. He also contributed a lot of things during the Corona period, because as I told you, the turbulent period started in 2019 and to 2021 when Corona and lockdown period was in Gujarat, and during that period also he has done a lot of good things. Number one, that he has also abolished that VVIP culture in Gujarat. Right. He was one who was leading from front, and he said that, I will not use a car with red light. And he was very amiable person, talking to everybody, getting feedback. So one of the finest leaders that
very
we had.
Very interesting point. Mr. Vyas, every time I met Mr. Rupani, he would talk about the Sujalam Suflam Yojana, which was the irrigation
Sauni
Yojana.
And Sujalam Suflam.
Or, yeah, the Sauni Yojana, or for that matter, even the domicile reservation, which was happening then because Alpesh Thakur's agitation was going on. Help us understand what are the key policy interventions that Mr. Rupani made during his tenure as the Chief Minister, and and he made it very clear that he was just taking forward the vision of Narendra Modi, isn't it?
See, Mr. Ajay Ummat mentioned about Sauni and Sujlam Suflam. I think that Sujlam Suflam was a child which was handed over to him, which was an unfit child, and lot of problems. North Gujarat being alluvial soil area, water scarce area, needed something, and North Gujarat was given this lollipop called Sujlam Suflam, which but for Mr. Rupani, I don't think anybody else would have so succinctly and sort of quietly got on with the job and done whatever best could be done out of the burning house, whatever could be salvaged. Because Sujlam Suflam itself is a big hoax. It's a big, according to me, much talked about list delivered scheme, and it was but for Mr. Rupani's tactful way of handling it, it would have been severely exposed, especially at a time when he came to power, succeeding Anandiben Patel. I also do not agree with Mr. Umar that he did not belong to any majority community. It was this which was main qualification. If he belonged to any of the majority communities, the other community at that time was so excited that automatically they would have been a fighting force against him. So being from a small community, being from a business community, being a softer face of Bharatiya Janata Party, I think was a basic qualification which made him got selected for this post. And I must say to his credit, he batted with his head down and delivered what was expected out of him without much ado. Right. So I think Rupani was picked up because he was from a minority community. He was from a caste which is a business caste, and he was a face which is a softer face. And over and above that, he had good knowledge about the workers because he had served as more than once served as the General Secretary of the Bharatiya Janata Party and later that President of the Bharatiya Janata Party's Sangathan State Unit Organization.
Okay. Quickly, Professor Kashikar, I wanted to ask you, you heard both the panelists out. What are the factors about Vijay Rupani that made him survive and thrive in the BJP, specifically in Gujarat? And today, how do you see the outpouring of tributes for him?
See, the basic part of during his rule in Gujarat was that he was the most affable person. Anyone can go and anyone can meet. And I think the roots of all these traits were lie in his youth because he was the Karyakarta of ABVP. He started his career from ABVP. He had the Sangh connection and due to all these things. And then he later on he shifted to BJP and then he started climbing the ladder in the leadership in BJP. But even during those times, when even in, if we see, though he belonged to Rajkot and his political career started from Rajkot, we must say that in BJP, after Jansangh part, during Jansangh, Keshubhai was there. Keshubhai Patel was the face of BJP, very rustic and rural. He belonged to rural area of Saurashtra and he represented that part of Saurashtra or Gujarat rather we can say. But in the case of Vijay Bhai, he belonged to the city area. He represented a sort of urban face of BJP and he worked very hard for BJP, even in those days when BJP was not in power. And from there he started.
I'm going to come back to you in 30
career.
seconds, sir. Let me bring in Aarti, who has some special aspects of Vijay Rupani's life. Aarti, over to you.
That's right, Maria. Thank you. Now, of course, let me take our viewers to what exactly happened. Just an overview of the story, right? Vijay Rupani, he died in the Air India crash. He survived by his wife and 2 children. Leaders had gone to meet them, console them as well at their residence. Now, remember, he served as the Gujarat CM for 2016 to 2021. Not just that, he was also appointed as the BJP in charge for Punjab elections. Now, in 2006, he was made the General Secretary of BJP's Gujarat State Unit, and he's been connected to the BJP since 1980. He's also been part of the RSS as well. Vijay Rupani, he was a former stockbroker as well, so he's a man of finance, and he was the chairman of the Saurashtra Stock Exchange Board as well.
All right, thank you, Aarti, for that quick update on the life and time of Vijay Rupani. Dr. Suresh, you were making a point. Please go ahead and finish it.
Yeah, so that's why, and then he started the climbing ladder in BJP, and he proved his mettle during his days in Sangathan. When he was working with BJP Sangathan, he became into the power. He came to the power as a minister into the ministry of Anandiben. But before that, he was the Rajya Sabha MP also, and he was the state president of BJP also. So he had idea about the Sangathan part as well in the government part also. He was also the minister, cabinet minister. He was elected first time into the in his constituency as MLA, and he became the cabinet minister directly.
If I were to ask you, what are the aspects of Mr. Rupani that helped him thrive and survive? Because, you know, Gujarat is seen as the land of very strong leaders. Mr. Rupani, like both the panelists also pointed out, that he came from the minority community, but also he helped the BJP perform this balancing act of not really, angering any dominant community here. Did that work out for him? Was he even expecting to be the chief minister? How did he look at his own elevation?
Technically, though it is called the minority community in constitutionally, but in Gujarat we all know that Jain community is very powerful both politically and financially, and he belonged to that community, right? But it's not about the power of money or the political power. He was such a ground-to-earth person, and he had that because, as I said earlier, he was attached to Sangathan and the government both. So he had experience of both the sides, and he knew how to keep the fine balance between government and Sangathan. And that's why during his tenure as a chief minister, he could keep the fine balance between both, and he ruled very well. The only challenging part during his tenure as a chief minister was the corona part. And I think he tried very hard to come out of this. But unfortunately, we know that his resignation was taken, and
talk about
he was
this
replaced by
place
Mr.
from
Patel.
where Vijay Rupani started his journey, and also, that has been his Karam Bhumi, Rajkot West. That was also the constituency from where Prime Minister Modi contested his assembly election for the first time. And in that campaign also, Vijay Rupani was made the campaign in charge. That we are looking at February of 2002. Would you take our viewers back to that time and talk about the equation between the Prime Minister and late Vijay Rupani?
Interestingly, that constituency belonged to
Dr. Suresh, that's the question to Vijay Umat.
Yes. Yeah. Maria, the interesting part, I distinctly remember, Mr. Modi was appointed as the Chief Minister of Gujarat. But, then there was a dilemma from which constituency he would contest. And Vallabhbhai Wala, who was Minister of Finance at that point of time, he voluntarily offered that, Mr. Modi can come and contest from that constituency, because it was considered to be the safest constituency for Bharatiya Janata Party. If you consider the top 10 safest constituency of Bharatiya Janata Party in Gujarat, like in Parliament you say that Gandhinagar or Surat or Navsari is the safest. Likewise, in assembly segment, top 3 you can consider Rajkot was one of the most safest. So Vallabhbhai Wala voluntarily offered Mr. Narendra Modi that you come and contest from Rajkot constituency, and Mr. Modi had gone there. And Vijay Rupani was in charge, and he was in charge not only for Mr. Narendra Modi, but he used to be in charge for even Vallabhbhai Wala when he used to contest from that constituency. I distinctly remember in 2012, everybody thought, that Mr. Modi is going to become Prime Minister in 2014. So in 2012 Assembly election, Mr. Rupani would be offered that Assembly seat. But it was not offered to him, and everybody thought that he will be upset. I asked him, Vijay Bhai, you were supposed to contest from this. He said, no, my job as Karyakarta is to whatever my party will say, and I have faith in Somnath. And when Anandiben became Chief Minister and Vallabhbhai Wala became Governor of Karnataka, then that seat was vacated, and Vijay Bhai on that particular day was going from Junagadh to Somnath for darshan, and when I spoke to him, he said, Ajay, I told you that I have faith in Somnath Dada, and Somnath Dada had given me this opportunity, and now I will contest from assembly seat in Rajkot.
So that
and
was
that
the
is how,
wonderful
he
story of the
entered
by-poll
assembly in
election that took place in Rajkot West. Thank you, Ajay Umar, for that wonderful insight.